I'm Laura Ingraham, and this is the Ingraham Angle from Washington tonight. No state left behind. That's the focus of tonight's angle.
So I ask you to think long and hard about the moment we're in. In a typical year, we're often not faced with questions of whether the vote we cast will preserve democracy or put us at risk. But this year we are.
Now, dissecting Biden's speech on democracy tonight, it's not worth our time or yours. The riot on January 6th was dangerous and tragic, but Americans are smart enough to understand the real threats to democracy are coming from the left. Look, without our First Amendment, our democracy is not going to survive. Yet, we know now that Biden and his intel services conspired with big tech to censor opposing political views. Now, how is that honoring cherished norms? And how is it living up to our democratic ideals to use the most toxic and the most vicious smears as political weapons?
What we have seen from Brian Kemp is a continuation of 12 years of racist behavior.
Domestic terrorism, rooted in white supremacy, is the greatest terrorist threat to our homeland today.
Individuals like Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott, they peddle in hatred and xenophobia.
And how are they upholding our system of government when they threatened a Supreme Court justice like Schumer did? And then they proclaimed the illegitimacy of the court when they disagreed with the Dobbs ruling.
We have to call out the Supreme Court for lying to the Senate. We have so many problems with the Supreme Court and the legitimacy.
And how is their plan to pack the court or abolish the Electoral College going to protect democracy? And for that matter, how exactly does Biden's draining our emergency petroleum reserves for political gain, how does that qualify as advancing democracy? And how is it democratic to retain and then abuse emergency powers long after the pandemic threat is over? Biden might not have had that weird red lighting behind him as he did in that bizarre Independence Hall speech back in September, but the reaction from America will be the same: disgust and disbelief. Mr. President, stop insulting us with your tone-deaf, cynical appeals. For once, focus on the issues that matter to us. Unless he thinks CNN is part of the vast right-wing conspiracy, he may have overlooked the top issues that they revealed in their new survey for voters. Now, as you can see, MAGA-fueled threats to democracy do not rate at all. So wake up, Joe. It's time for your peppy pills. This all is playing out, though, exactly as we predicted. When we look at Florida, the coalition that the Republicans have been able to put together in that state is really something that they should try to replicate as much as possible going forward up and down the East Coast, with a strong contingent of seniors, Latinos, young professionals, African Americans. Indeed, Governor Ron DeSantis has been a bright light during the darkness of the past 2 years. He, along with other new GOP stars, are out campaigning out west and up north.
If Lee Zeldin gets into office, New York will become a law and order state, and he will be a law and order governor.
6 months ago, all those smart pundits said a Republican can't win in New York, and that's exactly what they said in Virginia last year. They forgot to do one thing: ask the voters. That's what they forgot to do.
The Angle urged Republicans not to hide from cultural issues either. And sure enough, suburban women, they don't like propaganda in schools either, and they don't like transgenderism ruining girls' sports any more than any other voting blocs. And now, for the first time since Ronald Reagan retired, we have the type of Republican Party that can actually challenge the Democrats all over the country. We're no longer weighed down by the Bushes and their obsessions with open borders and helping China, endless wars. Our populist message is breaking through all over the nation.
We are taking a stand against indoctrinating our kids in our schools. You have a right to send your kid to kindergarten without having transgender ideology injected into the curriculum.
Hispanic voters, we are common sense voters. We believe in the American dream. The Democrat Party has left the Hispanic community.
From now until 2024, The effort to win the coasts has to be the primary focus of the GOP. Anyone, and I'm talking anyone who wants to run for president, has to show that he or she is willing and prepared to campaign in places like New York, out west in LA, even in San Francisco and New England, yeah, and in the upper Northwest as well. Many voters in those states haven't had the chance to attend a real GOP presidential rally in generations. And they haven't had the chance to organize, to knock on doors, to get their friends and neighbors excited about our message. Well, that's changing now, and that change must continue. Now, all year long, you might have gotten sick of it, but the angle has emphasized a single theme: no American and no state left behind. I think this is an opportunity, do you not agree, for a Republican 50-state strategy to wipe the Democrats out in 2024, 2022, not just in the old red state blocks, but across the country, from New York to Washington State to California and beyond. We have a new slogan here on the Ingraham angle. It's called No State Left Behind. And we're thrilled with the growth taking place in cities like Houston, Nashville, and Miami. We love the rural people who were fighting for populism over 10 years ago and who helped lead President Trump to victory in 2016. But we're not going to stop there. There are great Americans in Connecticut, in New York, in Washington, in Maine, and yes, in California. And they deserve good government too. No American should have to live in the type of terror that we're seeing in New York City, in Minneapolis, in Portland, and San Francisco. These are our fellow Americans. They're our neighbors, our friends, and our family. We've never wanted to defeat them. We're trying to save them. And that's the angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.